All right, let's talk about links. Have you ever really stopped to think about what gives a link its power in the world of SEO? It's not just about where it goes, it's about the words you actually click on. Today, we're diving deep into anchor text, a tiny detail with a huge, and I mean huge, impact on your rankings. Let's get right into it. So, really, what is it that gives a link its juice, its power? A huge part of the story is right there in plain sight. It's the visible, clickable words themselves. That's the anchor text. These little words do a ton of heavy lifting, convincing both people and Google that what's on the other side is worth a click. So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the basics, what anchor text even is. Then we'll get into why it matters so much for SEO. I'll show you your complete toolkit of anchor text types, lay out a safe way to use them, and then we'll wrap up with the common mistakes you absolutely want to avoid. Okay, first things first. Before we can get into any of the cool strategies, we have to be on the same page about the fundamentals. So let's get crystal clear. What exactly is anchor text? At its heart, it's about as simple as it gets. Anchor text is just the words you see highlighted in a link. It's the part you click on to go from one page to another. That's really all there is to it. Well, let's take an example. If you see a sentence like, learn more about SEO tools, the words SEO tools are your anchor text. But here's the thing. It's not just there for you, the user. It's a massive signpost for search engines, telling them, hey, the page I'm pointing to is all about SEO tools. So you might be wondering, why all the fuss about a few clickable words? Well, think about it from Google's perspective. It's trying to make sense of billions of web pages. Those little words are like critical clues that give context and meaning to the whole web. And this is really where the magic happens. Good anchor text helps Google connect the dots. It makes it super clear what a page is about and how relevant it is to a certain topic. When you get this right, the payoff is fantastic. You're looking at better rankings, more clarity for the search algorithms, and frankly, a way better experience for your visitors. Okay, so we know why it's a big deal. Now let's talk about the how. The best way to think about this is like having a toolkit. There are different types of anchor text, and each one has a specific job. A really solid SEO strategy uses a healthy mix of all of them. So here they are, the 7 essential tools in your kit. You've got exact match, that's your target keyword, plain and simple. It's powerful, but as we'll see, it's also risky. Then you have branded anchors, which are literally just your brand name, super important for building trust. And the list goes on with partial match, simple naked URLs, and even image anchors. That's where Google uses the image's alt text as the anchor. Pretty neat, huh? Now, knowing what the tools are is only half the battle. Using them the right way, well, that's what separates the pros from the spammers. This next part is all about the strategy, about finding that perfect balance so you can optimize safely without getting on Google's bad side. These are the golden rules. Seriously, you can't go wrong if you stick to these. Your anchor text absolutely has to be relevant to the page you're linking to. It needs to sound natural, like a human wrote it. You need to mix it up and use a variety of those types we just talked about. And most importantly, always, always write for the user first, not just to cram in keywords for a search engine. Okay, now this slide is fascinating. This shows the ideal ratio for a healthy, natural-looking link profile. And just look at that. A whopping 55% of your links should be branded. That's what Google expects a real brand to have. And that super powerful exact match anchor, it should be just a tiny slice of the pie, maybe 3% of your total. It's all about balance. And this quote right here is exactly why that ratio matters so much. Going overboard with exact match anchors is one of the biggest red flags you can wave at Google. It just screams, I'm trying to manipulate the rankings. Sticking to that 1 to 5% range, that's how you play it smart and build real, lasting authority. All right, let's wrap this up by looking at the flip side, the common mistakes people make all the time. Honestly, knowing what not to do is just as important as knowing what you should do. This makes it so clear, doesn't it? On the left, the good examples are descriptive, natural, and helpful. They tell you exactly what you're going to get. On the right, well, that's the bad stuff. It's either way too generic, stuffed with spammy keywords, or just totally random. So let's run through the big don'ts real quick. Don't go crazy with exact match keywords. Don't use the same anchor text over and over and over. Never, ever link to irrelevant pages. Keep your anchors short and sweet. And please be super careful about where your links are coming from. Let's end on a super practical note. Here's a checklist you can use every single time you build a link. Before you hit publish, just run through this. Is it relevant? Does it sound natural? Is it genuinely helpful? Am I using a good variety? And am I keeping my exact match anchors under that critical 5% limit? And that really leaves us with one final big question for you to think about. When you step back and look at all the links pointing to and from your site, what story are they telling Google? Is it a clear, consistent, and authoritative story? Because getting that narrative right is the real key to winning with SEO.